The US is mired in West Asia over its backing of Israel in the ongoing Gaza war. China and Russia are scrambling for influence in the region. But there is one nation that has been quietly working its way in the region, both diplomatically and in terms of defense agreements: India. I'm Shivan Chanana. Let me tell you about India's West Asia game plan. The first ever India-Saudi Arabia joint military drill, Sada Tanseek, between the Royal Saudi Land Forces and Indian Army kicked off in January in Rajasthan, showcasing deeper military ties between the two. The two forces trained for joint operations in semi-desert terrain. India already has a comprehensive strategic partnership with UAE. In a clear sign of strengthening ties, the first Hindu temple has now been inaugurated in Abu Dhabi. On the military front, the Indian Air Force and the UAE Air Force, along with French Air and Space Force, conducted Exercise Desert Night recently, showcasing collaborative air operations and diplomatic ties. The two nations, India and UAE, will also be co-designing and developing missile systems and unmanned aerial vehicles together. The nations are also developing a trade corridor connecting India with West Asia all the way to Europe by sea and rail in an ambitious plan backed by the US and the European Union. India and Qatar, their cooperation in diverse sectors has been steadily growing over the years. In another diplomatic win, India secured the release of 8 Indians detained in Qatar since 18 months. Deft diplomacy by India convinced the Emir of Qatar to pardon them and send them back. Oman is one of India's closest Gulf defense partners and the first Gulf country with which all the 3 wings of India's defense forces hold joint exercises. The two nations have recently inked a pact for defense cooperation as well. Now, many countries might see Iran as an enemy, but not India. Furthering India and Iran ties, the two countries have agreed on further development of Jabbar, Iran's only oceanic port, to boost trade in a 10-year pact for operations. The route bypasses Pakistan, reducing India's reliance on its neighbor for trade. So now, here you can see how India has enhanced its strategic, diplomatic and defense relations across West Asia. And not to forget the Pinaka rocket salvos that India sold to Armenia, which is near the region. Now go over all the information I've shared and tell me, who do you think will be the most affected by India's West Asia game plan? Let me know in the comments.